Sources close to Charles have said he has no plans to reduce the number of working royals from the current 11 more than any of the other European monarchies. His decision is one of several which shows a desire to be much more conservative than many predicted, and also following his late mother's practice. It comes despite signals from within the palace that he wants a slimmed-down coronation next year, costing taxpayers less to reflect the financial challenges facing Britain. In his first 45 days on the throne, the 73-year-old monarch has won praise for his more informal, touchy-feely approach to the job. But he has closely followed the late Queen in other ways. Charles, for example, is set to stop declaring how much tax he pays on the grounds that his mother, who began paying voluntarily in 1993, never published a summary of her payments. The King, who as Prince of Wales felt he should set an example on transparency, paid £5.8 million tax on an income of £23 million income from the hereditary Duchy of Cornwall estate last year. Aides have said that, although the plans still have to be finally signed off, the intention is that he will follow Queen Elizabeth's policy, and Prince William, as the new Prince of Wales, will for the first time publish details of his tax bill. The question is part of a much wider palace review underway into how the monarchy will operate. With fewer generations of working royals, aides believe it will be difficult for the family to undertake as many as 3,500 engagements around the country and the world. The Queen and key members of her family at the Platinum Jubilee this year. Image, Humphrey Neymar. Analysis by Richard Palmer. Daily Express royal correspondent. The new king has certainly brought a more informal style to the monarchy during a whirlwind first 45 days on the throne, but he shows little sign of wanting more radical change. His accession proved far smoother than many had predicted, and polls suggest the British public have warmed to him and Queen Consort Camilla at a time when political and economic instability is causing concern to millions. Down the years there has been much talk of the King, then Prince of Wales, wanting a slimmed-down monarchy. But after the loss of the Queen, Prince Philip, Harry, Meghan and Andrew, the number of royals who undertake taxpayer-funded duties to support the monarch is already down by 5. Read the full analysis here. The family and their advisors are considering what happens to many of the scores of organizations previously represented by a royal patron whose presence can help raise funds and bring attention to causes. These are things that are all being looked at as part of a wider review at the moment, one senior royal source said. William and Kate, the new Prince and Princess of Wales, may be able to take on some new patronages and increase their workload. Kate, in particular, has made it clear that, while she is passionate about issues such as giving children a better start in life, looking after her own children is her primary focus. Before the Duke and Duchess of Sussex quit in March 2020, some palace officials had forecast that there would be no role for the King's siblings when the reign changed. But with Harry and Meghan gone as well as Prince Andrew, the King now seems grateful to have the support of Princess Anne and the Earl and Countess of Wessex. There are also the late Queen's cousins, Princess Alexandra, 85, the Duke of Kent, 87, and the Duke of Gloucester, 78, with his wife, the Duchess of Gloucester, 76. A senior royal source said, "There are no current plans to change anything on that front." Longtime royal observer Joe Little, managing editor of Majesty magazine, suggested the late Queen's cousins would continue to spread the load a little for a while yet. "I think they are needed to just carry on what they are doing," he said. Another thorny issue still unresolved is, who stands in for the King and Queen Consort when they are abroad. Trending under the current Regency Act, 2 councillors of state are chosen out of the monarch's spouse and the first 4 adults in line to the throne to authorize official appointments and sign state papers. Charles and Queen Camilla are expected to go on their first official overseas tour soon, and if both are away it would be 2 from William, Harry, Andrew and Beatrice standing in for them. but none of them apart from William undertakes official duties. Harry is in California, and asking Andrew to sign the legislation into law would raise eyebrows. He quit public duties over his association with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Mr. Little noted that the king and his consort have proved more informal in their approach to royal duties. He is obviously much more touchy-feely than his mother was, he said. And Camilla had been photographed at Ascot with her arm on the shoulder of former jockey Willie Carson, not something he could have imagined the late Queen doing. But the king has followed his mother, indicating that he will spend a couple of days a week at Windsor and gather the family together at Sandringham in Norfolk at Christmas. He has also pledged to move into Buckingham Palace when a £369 million renovation program ends with work on the monarch's apartments in 2027. Prince William, as the new Prince of Wales, will for the first time publish details of his tax bill. Image, Getty. But he and his Queen consort will retain Clarence House as their London residence until then. The king's desire to follow in his mother's footsteps has meant he has spent much of the past few weeks at Balmoral. Last week, despite regular trips back to London for duties at Buckingham Palace, he undertook his 9th official engagement in Scotland since the Queen's funeral. He met families settled in Aberdeen from Afghanistan, Syria and Ukraine. Government ministers are understood to be keen for the royal family to help in their efforts to maintain the union amid attempts by Scotland's SNP government to hold a fresh independence referendum. But aides have insisted his focus on Scotland has had nothing to do with constitutional worries. He's been following the same pattern as the Queen, who would have been at Balmoral. Indeed, he would normally have been up there at this time of year, one said.